In the race for artificial intelligence supremacy, Anthropic has secured a spot at the very top. Their flagship model, Claude, consistently matches and often outperforms OpenAI's ChatGPT in coding and reasoning tasks as these systems expand at a massive scale. But if you rely on Claude for daily work, you've likely run into the friction of actually using it. Users routinely hit severe service outages and frustratingly tight rate limits right when they need the tool the most. To fix this, Anthropic recently inked a deal to rent server space inside a facility you wouldn't expect, SpaceX's new Colossus data center. Colossus is a massive installation, housing 220,000 graphics processing units designed to handle enormous computing loads. The arrangement puts Anthropic in a strange position. Elon Musk actively competes against them through his own artificial intelligence company, xAI. Anthropic is effectively relying on a direct rival to keep their lights on. Having the smartest code in the world becomes a strategic liability if you don't own the physical hardware required to actually serve it to your users. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang recently explained the AI industry by breaking it down into a framework of 5 distinct layers. The physical foundation starts with energy at the base, then chips and data center infrastructure. On top sits the software, models, and applications. Anthropic focuses entirely on these top 2 tiers, innovating models and agentic apps. Compared to their peers, they are the least vertically integrated frontier lab. For the bottom 3 layers, they rent capacity from third-party vendors like Google, Amazon, and hardware suppliers like Nvidia. Because Anthropic's business is entirely top-heavy and built on rented foundations, they are completely vulnerable to peak demand bottlenecks they cannot control. In the same way that massive research labs need to secure their own compute, everyday users need stable control over their personal AI environments without dealing with configuration risks. That's exactly what Zo Computer solves. Zo turns your laptop into a fully isolated personal cloud server with artificial intelligence built right into the system. Out of the box, it seamlessly integrates with your Gmail account, with Google Drive, and even with Stripe. You can set up automations that run while you sleep, and even command your agent directly by texting Zo on iMessage or Telegram. While Zo gives you sovereignty over your personal compute, Anthropic is using SpaceX's Colossus facility to fix stability across their massive platform. Colossus functions as a massive pressure valve. It allows Anthropic to offload unpredictable, bursty user demand away from their primary rented servers. If you are a Pro or Max subscriber, the immediate result is a smoother experience. Anthropic has doubled a 5-hour burst window and eliminated peak time throttling. It is important to note that the total weekly token limit hasn't changed. This upgrade is strictly about letting users run faster, more stable queries in short bursts. Anthropic is willing to burn capital and borrow a competitor's infrastructure for one simple reason. They need to retain their high-paying Pro, Max, and API users at all costs. The nature of the artificial intelligence industry is shifting. Competing solely on software benchmarks is no longer enough to win, because the primary bottleneck has moved down the stack to physical infrastructure. Anthropic's deal with SpaceX is a tourniquet. It buys them the time they need to keep their platform stable until their own custom-built data centers in the US come online in late 2026. But they are already looking further out. As part of this arrangement, Anthropic expressed interest in SpaceX's hypothetical orbital data centers, pushing the infrastructure scramble literally into space. To make computing in space economically viable, SpaceX would need to drastically reduce the cost of putting mass into orbit, bringing launch costs down to roughly $100 per kilogram. The companies that ultimately dominate this market won't necessarily be the ones writing the cleverest code. They will be the ones that can secure the physical energy, hoard the computing chips, and build the hardware fortresses required